participate in a workshop. And that workshop is called the Nine Devotions Workshop. And devotion, of course, we're referring to our love that we project towards Lord Krishna. And nine particular processes have been identified as gestures that we show our love to Krishna. And this number first came about from one of the great saints in our tradition, and his name is Prahlad Maharaj. And he was just a 5-year-old boy. He was just fairly new at the Gurukul, but even though he was fairly new at the game, if I can use that term, he was very well versed in the science of bhakti, because while he was in the womb of his mother, the great saint and the child within, that is Prahlad Maharaj, was absorbing all that was being said. His mother wasn't that attentive, but Prahlad in the womb was. He was very focused on what we call the 9 devotions. So it happened that after school, after the Gurukul session, like most parents do when their kids come home from school, they ask, so how was school today? It's like, I think it's just universal, isn't it? People ask, how was it work today? How was it work, honey? You know, how was it at the office or at the factory, wherever one is employed? And the parents ask, oh, how was school, kids? You know, what were your experiences? And then the children will volunteer. And sometimes the children are very open to express what went on, either good or bad. Maybe they had a session with a bully. You know, maybe they got bullied in the schoolyard that day, and so maybe they don't want to say anything about it. You know, they don't want to get implicated and, you know, start blaming this person and that person. So it just becomes part of the culture wherever you go in the world to ask the most natural question: how was it for the day? And Prahlad Maharaj, frankly, like, he was frank. He was very open about it. He said, well, I didn't learn much from my teachers. He had 2 professors or gurus, Shanda and Amarka, and they were very aligned with what the school's theme was all about. It wasn't so much about a righteous life, a good life. It was a little bit more about what demons are accustomed to being involved in. And that is dharma, artha, kama, and usually not moksha. That's not their, like I said, it's not part of their curriculum. Their syllabus excludes moksha, which means to be detached from the world and to get liberation. So Prahlad was very frank to his father. He didn't have anything, a need to hide. As far as we know, his father was quite affectionate towards he had 4 sons. And Prahlad was just different from the other boys. We don't hear too much about them from the Bhagavatam, but nevertheless, Prahlad carried on. He had his own life, and he was influenced by Narada, as we expressed before, while he was in the belly of his mother. And he said, I'm not learning from my teachers. I'm not benefiting much, but I am getting some information, and it's coming from another source. And so his famous line to answer to his father's request, he said, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam Padasevanam, Arjanam Vandanam Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam. So beginning, there's 9 processes, he's saying. And it starts with hearing, reflective listening, being very attentive to what you're being told. Secondly, repeating what you've heard, because that always is a sure test that you've been listening, if you can repeat what has been said. And then smarterdom is the third one. That is a recollection of beautiful things that have happened in your life. Now, smarterdom on the highest level, it means to always remember God, to have God in your mind. Savaimana Krishna Pararavindayu, that God is always on your mind, beginning with the lotus feet, seeing God, in a humble way. Start at the feet, gradually rise up, and you'll see his face, his peacock feather, and all this other. But everything begins from this level. You look down, you look up, 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 and wow, it goes like that. But it begins from the platform of humility. Smarterdom means a remembrance of the Lord. And of course, many of us who have been living in this life, and we've got a series of lives before we came here, we don't remember God very well because we have actually been involved in, all kinds of karmic activities, maybe karma kanda at best. Karma kanda means doing pious deeds, good works, worshiping gods and goddesses, and trying to get some, physical material benefits. But most of us don't remember God so well. It's not in the foreground of people's minds. But we're going to go through some exercises that will help us to recall some of the beautiful things that have helped us to become more spiritual, to be more Krishna conscious. So we'll talk about that. We'll exchange. And then Pada Sevanam. Pada, as everybody knows, you're like, your feet, pedestrian, pedestrian. You are, on your feet, and now it's, when you're a pedestrian right now, it's a lot of climbing over the snowbanks and all of these things. Yes, but seva, pada seva, serving at the feet, again, taking a humble position. In advanced cultures, people will do that. They'll approach their elders, their seniors, their parents, anybody who's contributed something, and they'll go in. It sounds like even Italian culture, you would kiss the feet of your grandparents. Is like part, maybe less so now, but most cultures have become sort of dropped a lot of their own beautiful protocols. But so this is serving at the lotus feet, doing some service, humble service. In an ashram setting where brahmacharis live, it might clean the washroom, the stool room. You do something that's humble, meek, and getting down, doing some of the dirty things. That's this is what we mean by padasevanam, humble services. Padasevanam. Archanam means to honor the form of the Lord, to honor the image of something greater than yourself. In most cultures, people do have images that they look at, and if it isn't a person, it's going to be a car. Look at a car. And whatever else in some cultures, they worship the tree or a bush, and or it could be a mountain, could be a major stone, just anything that would reflect something that's of great power and magnitude. So that's Archanam. And in our tradition, especially in the south of India, right? And also in Bengal, they've got sort of more elaborate, tali, and you've got different articles that you use and you offer them to the Lord. And, flour, water, the elements, or the elements is the fragrance, like from the agarbatti, and water and flame. These are purifying agents that live in the world. They're coming to us from God, and we're just offering a little token, a little sample back to God. So that's Arjanam. Vandanam means to offer prayers, and we'll be going through that, exercise. We'll ask everyone to say a little prayer. You can do it in your language. Doesn't matter to me. You can say it in English, or it can be in Swahili. It doesn't matter, as long as we approach God. And we'll talk about the different kinds of prayer that are there. So, Dasya means to function as a servant, to take the mindset of, I'm here to serve you. It's not that I am asking you to cater to all of my whims, but I'm here to do something for you. Okay. Sometimes it gets a little competitive with devotees. Say, I want to serve you. No, I'm going to serve you. Like we used to have these in the ashram. We have these little battles. After prasadam at breakfast, and somebody would steal another one's plate after it was eaten. So, hey, what? And then they'll try to get the other person's, and they'll have a little bit of a battle, a fight at the sink. All in fun, all in good fun. It's a little competition. Even with the epitome of bhakti is Krishna and Radha. They're always trying to serve or outserve each other. Like not outsource, but outserve each other. One can outdo the other, and gets to be a fun experience. Dasyam and Sakyam means to be friend, make a friend. Of all the friends that you can make, the best friend is Krishna. And in our primary book, Bhagavad Gita, we can appreciate that Krishna says, I'm telling you, Arjun, all that I know, because you are my devotee. You're a devotee, and because you are my friend. On these two credentials, Krishna is speaking the Gita, on those two levels. So we'll just perform acts of friendliness. We'll try to make new friends here in the next couple of days or so. And then finally, if I could end up, and I'll just say this, and we'll ask for your questions if you have any concerns. The last one is Atmani Vedanam. We'll do some kind of exercise which would indicate that I'm just surrendering. I'm letting everything go. I have no other attachments. I don't care about life insurance policies, fire insurance policies. I don't care about this guarantee or that guarantee. And we'll make believe that we're somewhere up north. We're on an iceberg. And there's only you and a hungry polar bear is on the iceberg.
Is that Greenland?
It could be Greenland. It could be any of those places up north. And you can jump in the water, the icy water, see what happens. He'll just get after you. Or you can just stay on the surface and just let him have his little prasadam. Yeah, well, if you've been eating prasadam for many years, then you are prasadam. You're doing him a favor. Okay. So those are the things. We'll make this nice and fun. We'll make it interactive. And in terms of the time, we did say we go from 6 to 8, but I'm just going to close it off a little earlier today. And then we're having tomorrow another session. And then since it is Nityananda this festival appearance day anniversary, we'll merge it in somehow, whatever is left to be done. Okay. And the program starts when? For Nityananda Trayodasi.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
6 to 8. So
Okay.
6 to 7:30 you're present.
Okay,
7:30
we'll see what we can cover today over the 9 processes. 9. What is it, 9? 9 gates. 9 gates to the physical body, okay?
Of 9 days.
In the Bhagavad Gita. 9, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 1 here, and 1 down there, and 1 on the other side. Okay, 9 gates. So it makes things easy when you work with numbers, And so this is what we're going to talk about. But let's highlight the 9. Okay, so first of all, let's just talk about the beginning part. Anybody have any questions right now you want to say
So
something?
that's good.
Okay, great. Yeah, we're going to make this simple, and I just want to let you know we've been doing these 9 processes of devotion for a few years here and there, and it's been a little while since we've done it, but it's always fun. It's liberating, and we've done it to different kinds of groups, even a women's martial arts group. Yeah, we did in Quebec, and it was translated, and it was really amazing. After you take everyone through the 9 processes, people will come and say, "Thank you for having me believe in God again." All we just did was like we had a 3-hour workshop on it, and at least 2 ladies came. They weren't sure about God, and then when it came to things like an exercise in Vandanam, prayer, after those kind of things, and people opening up and feeling good about each other, they just feel, wow, I feel the presence of God right now. I feel there's something greater than me. Yep. So it's magical what happens with these practices. Okay, even if some people are agnostic, they're not quite sure about where God fits in, if there is even God. They just feel like a sense of a presence of something greater than them. Good. So let us just deal with Shravanam right in the beginning, hearing. In the atmosphere, in the ether, there's a lot of sound vibrations coming at us. I just came from Guyana, and they just found oil not so long ago, oil and gas, and the place is buzzy, it's booming, and it's an explosion, the population explosion. People are moving in from Cuba, people are moving in from Venezuela, and other places. So it's good. But it's very noisy. There's just a lot of things going on. And I would say the vibrations are not sattvic, if you know that term. It's not mode of goodness, but it's a lot of engines roaring. And then you got some salsa music, and which is kind of happy music. It's not so bad. And of course, you got a lot of African music, a lot of the rap is going on, and it just like shakes the earth. And I think the one area where we're getting a lot of, from oral reception, from someone's mouth to our ear, it's a lot of colorful language. A lot of colorful language. People have no qualms about using 4-letter words. In fact, I was in Suriname, and I thought these people are very nice. And I asked one devotee who was walking with, "Do people swear here in your country?" He said, "Oh, do they ever?" So I think it's become a universal practice.
Yeah.
There was a time when, so if you use a bad word, your mom or your dad was on, they'll put some soap in your mouth, right? They'll try to scrub your mouth out, just as a lesson to be learned.
People use it quite.
So loosely.
Like instead of full stop, they use that word.
Yeah. It's like a breath, like people say like,
Yeah.
but if it's not like, then it's going to be that other
Yeah.
word. And it's a very toxic language. And I guess in Hindi or Punjabi or Gujarati, is it used as well?
So some similar thing.
So along the same lines, yeah. So, and it does pollute. There's no doubt about that. It pollutes the consciousness, the mind. So, what we are wanting to do, what Prahlad was set out to do, was to help his classmates to hear something that's going to kind of clean the atmosphere, purify the atmosphere. So if we could, just like Ram is 4-letter words, if that could come out there and replace the other 4-letter word, that would really be a renaissance, right, for us. Okay, so anyways, let's do that. And we're going to make the use of musical instruments here. We have Nityananda Prabhu, and he's got um, the mridanga. I don't know if I can move this around. There's going to be a way to go. Yeah, that's right. That's the way. Nityananda's got a mridangam, which is an instrument which comes from the eastern part of India, Bangladesh, Bengal, and made of clay as well as hide. And it's a beautiful instrument. It's like when you take a tabla and you put it together, the two ends together. And but I would say it's superior in sound because you get all kinds of nuances, all kinds of beautiful, subtle sound vibrations. So whereas a tabla might be a little more poppy, pop, and it's beautiful in its own right. But this gives you a few more subtle sounds out of that. So when you hear a good mridanga, when you hear it comes to your ears, you are encouraged to dance for God. When you hear a lot of other kind of drums coming from different parts of the world, you're encouraged maybe to, gyrate and dance for very passionate. Mridanga, and but we're really talking about the voice now. So what the acharyas or great teachers have said about sound, they said that pure sound is imported, or let's say it's imported, or it's an export from the spiritual world. If you're living in the holy dham, liberated, then you can say it's always been there. But when you bring it to the physical world, then it's an export, right? So an import from the spiritual world, I guess you could say. And that's what we're concerned about here. We're going to now chant a mantra, and mantra comes from two words, mantra. Mana, that is the mind, and tra, derived from the word trayate, to liberate or to free up, right? Now, right now, our minds are bound to physical things and sensual things, but we're trying to raise up our consciousness, and we'll do that through sound. So the common mantra that is known, or let's say the popular mantra and the great mantra of deliverance, is what we call the Maha Mantra. Okay, Maha means great. I think everybody knows that. Maha Mantra. So first of all, you hear the mantra from someone who's taking the lead in the kirtan. You listen to it, and then you respond. Like last night, I was at the U of T, and we were a group of yoga students, and we talked to them about mantra meditation and how important it is. These are not people from our part of the world. These are people. There's some Asian kids and Chinese kids. There were some Western kids. There were some Russian kids. It was a nice mix, actually. It really was a beautiful mix. And we explained to them that we're just going to have you hear the mantra first. So it starts off, first of all, with Hare, Hare. You can repeat that. Hare.
Hare.
And that refers to the divine energy of God. Usually it's referred to like female energy, the internal potency of God. And then we have Krishna that follows through. Krishna is a name for the absolute, means the all attractive one, God who looks beautiful, right? In fact, Bhagavan is the word that is the substitute for Krishna, you can say, okay? And Bhagavan means one who possesses all opulences, such as God being beautiful, God being knowledgeable, God being strong, God being famous, one being renounced, and finally was the one we're missing, strength, yeah, that's right. So those are the Bhagavan means one who possesses these 6 opulences. So Krishna is particularly known to exercise all these opulences. And so that's why we put emphasis on the word Krishna. God, after all, is the embodiment of all these wonderful things. And then the final word is Rama. Rama refers to the joy, the Ananda feature or Ladini aspect of God. And you can enjoy chanting and praising Krishna, the Creator, through this word Hare, which means I'm here to serve you. I'm here to serve you. God, let me serve you. So it goes like this: Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare
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 Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Rama,
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 Hare
Hare
Hare. Visually, we can do like this. Hare means I give blessings. It's Radha giving blessings. She's giving services. And then Krishna. You can do that? Get your little flute images out there. And then Hare. And then Krishna. You can do it with this too. And then Krishna,
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 Hare,
Hare
Hare, Hare. Now the warrior in you is going to come out. Put that bow out there. Get the arrow out. Strap it together and release. Rama.
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Rama.
Rama,
Rama.
Rama,
Rama.
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm going to, we're doing this is in two parts. Okay. Shravanam, listen, and then Kirtanam, just respond. That's all that we have to do. So you're the responders. Okay. We'll go back and forth like that with that practice of receive and respond. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Okay, we've gone through the cycle now. I sang, and then you sang. Now we're going to throw it back at me. You've already done that. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Very good. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everyone.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Thank you very much. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Congratulations. Okay. It's important to hear it and then repeat it, and not to just continually go on and chant without a break. You know, you'll get exhausted after all. So I'm just recommending that from a practical point of view, hear it and then repeat it, and then stop, and then hear, and then repeat. Because our experience is a lot of people just want to continue singing. Okay, what's the important element of this here? In the Bible, they talk about in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. Okay? So in the beginning of creation, they talk about sound, and that the sound is God. In our tradition, Nama Chintamani Krishnas, there's no difference between the name of Krishna and Krishna himself. We don't have to draw a line of difference. So, in other words, we're saying that if I say Dr. Johnny, you know, and he's not here, immediately we'll think of him, right? There's no difference between the sound and the person, practically. So, if I say Bhagavad Gita, immediately you'll have the image of Krishna and Arjuna on the chariot, right? If I say Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, then you'll think about a bottle that's shaped like this, and it's got a drink in there. It's carbonated, and it's got some kind of flavor in it there that's full of sugar, which is not good for you. But never mind about the content. The point is that as soon as we say Coca-Cola, you're going to be thinking about that, okay? As soon as we think about our phone, and then we just, I need my phone. I'll say, my phone, where is it? And immediately you think of your phone, the shape of it and everything, and what is it, the cover, you know, the wallpaper, you know, it's all there. It's all there for you. If I'm thinking about Donald Trump, okay, you say the name Donald Trump, and of course you might have some, you know, your head might spin a little bit, but immediately you think about him and you think about his image, you know. There's no difference between the name and the person, practically speaking. So when we say the name of Krishna, Krishna comes to mind. Krishna's there, and he's there for us. So of the 9 processes of devotional service, these 2 are very important. Your devotional life, your life of bhakti begins with these 2 things, these 2 elements. So we submit ourselves to chanting all the time as much as we can. It's recommended to chant in the morning so that it'll set a beautiful tone for the day. And usually it's a happy tone. It's a purifying tone. So we do that in the beginning. Okay. So Shravanam, everybody can say Shravanam.
Shravanam,
Kirtanam.
Kirtanam.
That's out of 9, the first 2. Okay, now we're going to zip over to number 3. Prahlad says to his father, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Hearing and chanting about the glories of Vishnu. Now, anybody who knows the story, you know that Hiranyakashipu was not really excited about Vishnu at all. He saw him as arch enemy. So he didn't like that that was coming out of the mouth of his son. In fact, he considered that he was contaminated just to hear that. So number 3 in the list is called Smaranam. And we're going to do a little exercise with all of you. And we would like to hear from each and every one of you in the best way you can to give an experience of something that you remember that was really good. Like I remember first meeting Prem Kishore and the family back in Toronto, Scarborough, I think it was, or North York.
North York.
North York, yeah. And I was walking through the snow to see you, I think.
Yes, Maran.
Yeah, do you remember it?
Yes, Maran.
Yeah. How many years ago was that?
Almost 25, 30 years.
Shh, can you believe it? Can you believe it? Yeah. And so then, we had a little kirtan, we did the usual Hare Krishna things. So what we do at Sanghas, a little message from the Shastra, a little bit of kindness, exchange some prasadam, and I assume we did a little puja, something like that. So I'm thinking about it, and that was a nice experience. And I heard you were going up north. I think it was already that time. It was already determined you were going up north.
Yeah.
I probably said something to you. Oh, great, we can do something up there. You could get something going, and look what he's done. All right. So recalling, I'll just give you an example. When I was with students yesterday at University of Toronto, we had them write out questions. We did a Q&A session. And I had a stack of questions from the students that were there. And some of them had to do with relationship. And like many of them are at an age where they're hoping to find a good partner. That's just where the mind is at. And there's nothing wrong with it. There isn't. Who are you going to share your life with for the next so long, so many decades? That's what's on people's minds. That's what's on their minds. So they find somebody. This is what happens for a lot. They find somebody, and then it doesn't work. Heartbreak, heartache, heartbreak. So then you get into a sort of a depressed state, and then you kind of mope and grope around for a little while because you're heartbroken. It's a crack, the heart, it's cracked, broken up. So then it's hard to function sometimes. You wonder, will you get over it? And usually with time, everything happens, and then another nice person steps in and says, oh, maybe here there's a possibility. So anyways, what I was asking each and every one of you to do, if you could tell us a story about where you were a little bit depressed, you were down, maybe your boss fired you, maybe you failed the exam like that, or maybe you drove down in your new car and you got into an accident, and it's going to the bill will be astronomical, and then so you feel it's a setback, it's a setback, and it's not an easy one to handle. It's not easy to deal with. So then, how did you overcome it? Remember what happened that turned everything around. That's what I'm asking of each and every one of you. So tell me your little story and of something that happened in your life. It could be just recent, or it could be 10 years ago. It could be something, again, the bully in the schoolyard that you met, gave you a black eye and you got all depressed and whatever, any little thing. And what is it that changed the spirit? What gave you some hope? Oh, I just can't be depressed all the time, you know? Just, I'm asking you to recall that time. Like for a lot of us, um, we were going carrying on in life, following a routine, and then we met devotees, you know, and the first time they met Krishna Bhaktas, like I meet people all the time. Oh, you're with this God? Oh, yeah, I have a good experience. So we're asking you to tell us that good experience. So remember, this is Smaranam. So to recall or remember something that pushed you closer to Krishna. That's what we're asking. Okay, so we'll ask for volunteers. Anybody can say. But I just want to let you know, I am going to cut it a little short for me today. And we will, like say in 10 minutes, if that's okay with you, we could continue on.
Look at it.
Yeah. And tell us your story, because this is where it gets a little fun and personal, and it's a nice sharing of stories. Brew, are you okay? Would you like to come a little closer to us? Yeah, just, yeah. Yeah. Bring your phone with you, of course. Yeah. All right. Who would like to start with their story? Tell us your little story. We're making this interactive so that it can be more meaningful, and we place more value on this exercise by doing it like this. Okay? Do
I'll share.
you want to share? Do you need to be amplified?
No, that's okay.
These
Yeah.
people will hear.
They can hear from me.
Okay.
So, something which brought me closer to Krishna in 2001 when I immigrated to Canada from India. And me, my wife, and little daughter, she was 3 years. Krishna was not born at that time, and we were staying in a basement apartment. Basement, like there was no window.
Okay.
And as soon as we landed on January 21st, 2021, 2001. So I was in the basement, and we were told that the family is a Gujarati family, so we will be safe. But we found out when we landed that they were meat eaters and they were drunkards, and all things, wrong things were happening. And I was brand new to Canada, no job, just landed, as an immigrant. So every day morning, I used to leave early morning, 5:30, 6 o'clock from Scarborough, Nielsen and Tapscott, take a bus to go to the Scarborough Town Center and take a train and go to all the hospitals and find a job. I used to knock the doors of all the doctors. And
Oh.
so that happened for a while, but every single day was like a lot of stress because it's a winter
Yes.
and no job, and the Priyanka and Sneha Suniti is at home, and the family where we are staying, we are not comfortable now. But what can we do? And I was also studying at that time because I had to pass my medical exams, to like a licensing exams. And then Priyanka got very sick. She got allergic rash all over the body. She was like 3 years old.
Ooh.
And I had no way. I said, my God, everything is going wrong now.
Wow.
So somehow or other, Suniti got Bhagavad Gita from India. And one day morning, that time there were no cell phones. So I was traveling in a bus and train, and 2 trains, 1 bus. It was like 1 hour at least ride. So I picked up Bhagavad Gita, which was lying at the corner, and I started reading it on the bus. And because it was like a hopeless thing, I used to leave early morning, 5:30, come back home at 11 o'clock. It was going on forever. And then I read whole Bhagavad Gita. In first 15 days, I finished entire Bhagavad Gita cover to cover. Next 15 days, I read again. So in a month, I read twice Bhagavad Gita. And then I told Suniti that let's go to temple. So then we found ISKCON Toronto, and that whole changed my life.
Wow. Okay. Good.
So
Good.
otherwise, I never was with ISKCON ever. I hardly used to go to temple maybe once in a year or twice a year.
Okay.
I was not into Krishna consciousness, but Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita changed my life forever.
So now, how do you feel just telling us your story?
Well, I feel that if I would not have read Bhagavad Gita, maybe I would have been enjoying in a big farmhouse or a retreat or traveling all over the world, not sitting in front of Krishna here or not in front of you. So my life would have been totally different,
Mm.
more like everybody else is living.
Uh-huh.
I got this unique opportunity to be with the devotees, and
Mhm. Mhm.
so this is something amazing. So one
Yes.
Bhagavad Gita changed. I mean, there was a lot of stress also, which brought me to read Bhagavad Gita.
So for many of us, when we first meet devotees, it's a life-changing experience, right? And it puts us in a good direction generally. But we feel good just to recall,
Mhm.
the first person who put a book in your hands, and I still remember. I'm trying to find that person. So, anyways, that's a beautiful story. Let's applaud
Thank you, Madam.
for that, and let's get another story down, shall we?
I can share my story.
Okay.
Like I came to Canada in 2023 after doing high school from India, and it took me like around 2 years to get the actual visa for Canada. So
Wow.
like I was 17 or something when I gave the exams and everything. And during that phase, like I was very immature. I was very, I mean, academically I was so good. So my mindset was like, I am the doer, I am studying good, I am doing everything well. So the thinking was like that. I used to go to like go to temple, but the much more intent was like there is one God. If you ask him something, he gives you that or that like that. But I used to believe that I am the doer. If I study well, if I do well, then I can get everything. And then it took me like 2 years to get the actual visa after so many struggles and everything,
Uh-huh.
and I landed in Canada after 2 years. And my very first house, like when I came here, like everyone was drinking and the environment was very toxic. So
Mm.
till 3 or 4, there were like very nuisance in the house and shouting and everything. Like I remember police used to come to the house once a week.
Here in
And
Thunder Bay?
not in Thunder Bay, I was in Kingston.
Oh my
So
God.
it was very tough
Police-
for me
police
because I
was-
was new to the country. I was feeling homesick. I was looking for a job. I was studying. I was unable to complete my assignments due to the ongoing environment and everything. So during that time, there used to be one elder lady living in our house, and one day I was crying because everything was out of my control and everything was going out of hand. So like she used to go to ISKCON, so she gave me the Bhagavad Gita, and like I was helpless. I didn't had any choice. I wasn't feeling good. Everything was going out of hand. So I started reading Bhagavad Gita, started developing interest in Lord Krishna, started practicing it. I remember she was doing some prayers and everything in the morning. So I also started joining her, learning from her, like following her, what she is doing and everything. And from then I developed interest. Then I completed my studies. I was looking for a job from one last 1 year, and in March, I remember I came to Thunder Bay to give an interview for a job.
Okay.
And it was from Kingston, so I took a bus and everything.
Oh.
So like it took me around $700 expense or something in order to just appear for an interview. When I came here, like randomly, I searched on Google, is there any temple? I mean, I had been to ISKCON Toronto, but I was searching if there is any temple over here.
Right.
And then I got to know there is a great temple in Thunder Bay.
Mhm.
From that day onwards, I thought that if I will get a job over here, it would be good for me. I will be able to go to temple every day. So like that excited me to move to Thunder Bay. I didn't got that interview, so I was still looking for jobs and everything, applying for jobs. And then in like November 2025, I decided to move to Thunder Bay in case like I'll find job anyways. But I want to move to Thunder Bay because there is very good environment and everything.
Yeah.
So I moved to Thunder Bay in November. I was looking for a job, and in December I got a job. And like I'm regularly coming to temple. This is like where I am.
Wow. Nice story.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. So it makes you lighthearted to remember
Yeah.
these things, right? So our topic is remembrance. I mean, you can also remember sad things, of that happened in your life. But we're talking more about reminiscing Reminiscing means to think of the joyful features of the past and you're bringing it to the present just through recollection. So that's why we're going through this exercise right now. So I think what we can do is we want to thank you all for coming, and we've started our little program. Tomorrow, I think we will put a lot of energy into it. If you Bruce can come as early as you can, like 6-ish, and then we'll cover a lot more of these topics. So we've talked about Smaranam, which we've just gone through, and we can hear some more stories maybe tomorrow. And Shravanam, which is about hearing, that which is worth hearing. And then Kirtanam, that which is worth repeating. If it's worth hearing, it's worth repeating. If I have a good joke, and I heard it and it gave me a laugh, I'm now I wish to then share that joke with somebody else. I don't want to keep it to myself. I want to see that there's a happy, light atmosphere, right? So that's what we can do. I would propose we just do a little more. Do Arti now? Okay. Arti, which involves Shravanam and Kirtanam and helps you to remember God. Okay? And if you like, we can ask Nityananda to lead the Kirtan. And tomorrow I'll be with you full throttle. I do have a class that goes from 5 to 6, but it's finished by 6. Okay, and I'm Bhakti Mark Swami. Thank you very much. And we'll get to know you all. Do your arti and have a good time, and I'll go to a quieter place and carry on with what I need to get done. Okay?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Jai. Thank you. It was good so far, wasn't it? It was nice. And thank you all of those of you who have joined us online, and we will continue tomorrow. Now there will be an arti ceremony that goes on. Thank you, and we'll see you tomorrow for 6 o'clock. Jai. How'd it go? Wow, this is like serious. Are they pills?
The earbuds.